Can you guys hear? Can you guys hear the drums? The drums of liberation, bro. Mysteries abound, made of a deep energy. Energy flows all around, but we will go fill us of California. Bro, Michael Murray has got to be Tupac reincarnated, bro. This brother really said, I am tired of being evil. Let me put my Jedi robes back on. Let me take off my Air Forces and get into some Crocs, bro. Seeing this patch could genuinely bring a tear to my eye, bro. I thought we were cooked. I thought we were neutered, bro. I thought Michael Murray was just harvesting our consciousness into a giant soul trap. The resistance has arrived, bro, and they have killed whatever Israeli clone that Big Yahoo replaced Michael Murray with. I never in my life thought I would see a day where Heat actually got a significant nerf. Never. Tekken 8 devs are the most confusing people on earth. If you have watched my videos for long enough, you guys know that I have called the Tekken 8 devs all sorts of names. The Tekken team is mostly comprised of retards, gooners, and petty criminals. Now, I am not necessarily an arrogant person. However, I put this on my life. I would solo the whole Tekken dev team, bro. And for the most part, they have lived up to those names. For the better part of 3 years, these devs have been cosplaying as people with severe brain defects and doing an almost perfect job at it. But occasionally, just occasionally, these devs will do some random ass shit where I look at them and I see through the smoke screen. These are actually real life human beings balancing my game, not orangutans. Tekken just dropped a 3.0000002 patch and I wasn't even aware this was a thing. Since I hit Tekken God in this game, I haven't even turned this shit on, bro. In fact, the only reason I even know about it is because I saw this main man video. I immediately thought to myself, oh, whatever, another Tekken 8 patch, fuck off, mate, until I looked at the patch notes. Now, I do want to get out of the way that these devs still stink, and they're not addressing the root causes of the game's issues, which are a million plus on block moves that donate free 50/50s to the player. However, this patch is definitely one of the better ones we've gotten. This is pretty much exclusively a patch to nerf Heat. I think almost every character in the game got a nerf in this patch. I could go character by character, but I'm not going to do that because this patch was pretty simple. Think about your character's best move in Heat. It now consumes 600 heat. That is pretty much what they did to every character in this patch. Of course, you have to look for yourself and see if this happened to your character, but 600 heat consumption is a consistent thing within this patch, and it's a huge change because this means... What the fuck am I writing? Because this means you cannot use these moves more than once in Heat now. And that is huge. At least if you're going to activate your Heat with a Heat Burst. Oh my god, what the fuck am I writing? Because this means you cannot use these moves more than once in Heat, and that is huge. At least if you activate your Heat with a Heat Burst, because if you activate it landing a Heat Engager, then you can probably use them twice. But anyways, if the Tekken team are going to outright refuse to nerf these broken moves, as in change how they actually function, then the least they can do is limit how often players can use them. To use Kazuya as an example for a second, his Heat Hell Sweep that has a little cutscene and does extra damage has been nerfed to where it uses 600 heat, so you cannot continuously 50/50 your opponent with a ridiculous mix. The second thing they changed is they removed the ability to regain heat from this move, which I haven't played the game enough recently for me to even remember this even being in the game, but how on earth was this ever a thing? I have always been of the opinion that regaining heat is absolutely horrendous and shouldn't exist, but when a character like King is hitting a giant swing where you have a throw break, you can click to counter that move, and he regains heat, I'm not exactly too mad at it until he starts Jaguar sprinting me for my life savings. However, merely guessing right as the Kazuya player and getting I don't remember how much damage it did, but it's disgusting for what it is, getting further Oki and regaining heat is fucking autistic gameplay. And I'm glad they're actually, after 3 years, doing some shit about moves like this. Heat is by far the most oppressive mechanic we have ever had in a Tekken game. And we had dudes doing 6 billion damage off a down forward 1 in rage when we were playing Tekken 6 and Tag 2. I am so glad it is finally being addressed. This isn't the only thing that they changed with this patch though. Pretty much all heat engages in heat are launchers with heat dash, right? Well, they have toned those down as well, which I think is another fantastic change. Most notably, Dragunov, a character who had a 12 frame while standing launcher in heat, has had that removed so that you can only follow up now instead of launch, which I think is perfectly fine. Having a 12 frame normal hit launcher is something that should never be in a Tekken game, and I still don't understand how he even made it this far. If you are newer to Tekken or just don't understand the magnitude of a move like this, pretty much every single low in the game is -12 or above on block. There's fringe cases where they're safe or -10 or something, but these are fringe cases and usually gimmicky moves. Lows generally are -12, meaning every low that you attempt against a Dragunov in heat is potentially launch punishable. Not being able to click a low poke against the character without the risk of getting obliterated completely destroys how half the roster functions. There are characters who have super punishable weak lows period because they have other stuff to compensate for this. It's the way their character plays. But for the most part, characters' lows are 50% of the game, bro. It's like Dragunov has a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh floodgate every time this brother pops heat whilst he's running 2ing you into an oblivion, bro. Thank God they removed this shit. Still probably top 3 though. Michael Murray might be 2-pack, but I have no subscribers, chat. Please sub to the channel if you like the videos. Please, if you like Tekken content, if you like... I don't know what else I post on this fucking channel. I'm going to be posting Pokemon, guys, okay? If you like Pokemon, subscribe to the channel. Bro, just subscribe to the channel, bro. Subscribe to the channel. Law is a character that took a pretty big fucking hit too, and I am all for it because I don't know why people weren't understanding until the main man started bitching about him every day. But Law is so fucking broken, bro. It is actually mind-boggling to me how this character stayed under the radar for so long. And I know, yes, every character in Tekken 8 is broken, but there is truly levels to this shit, bro. This guy's pokes are ridiculous. His down forward too, I swear to God, is homing. I have seen that move track both directions perfectly. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, but it is so fucking broke. Dragon Ball shit, whatever the stance is called, got buffed in the last patch, and that shit was already one of the most uninteractive brain dead stances in the game. This character is fucking AIDS. However, the most broken thing about him just got nerfed. 111 was a 10 frame hit confirmable launcher in heat. Yes, we had Akuma running around in our game for 3 years. I don't think I need to explain why this is broken. If you don't understand why, please seek a metal pole to your skull. It may reverse any defect you had beforehand. Hopefully. Like Dragunov's move, the launching property has been removed, but I imagine you can still get a follow-up, so it's not entirely gone. But thank God they took this out of their game. Absolutely disgusting move. I also heard Horang's down forward 4 into flappy kicks no longer launches, which, oh my lord, thank God, that shit was so cringe. But overall, I truly mean this with all my heart. This is a step in the right direction, bro. The game is healing. I don't want to exaggerate here, but for a lot of characters, heat just became significantly worse, and it's no longer going to be this, okay, here's my vortex button, because for a lot of people, using key heat moves is going to end your heat like that, bro. I still think that the heat dash move still giving follow-ups is still too much damage for me personally, especially for a move like Law's 111. But stuff like this I can live with, bro. This isn't round-ending damage we're dealing with from these free-ass moves anymore. I still have my own grievances with heat. I personally think it should be a thing that you build up over rounds or something that can only be accessed through heat engages. I don't think that heat burst should even exist anymore. Literally all heat burst does is create toxic things in the game. It's either making the pacing of the round strange by watching a cutscene when activating it, 2 enabling combos that shouldn't exist, or 3 relieving pressure from yourself whilst entering the most broken state in the game. I don't think it should exist. However, I am not to any degree complaining about this patch. This is unironically a huge step in the right direction. I ain't know these devs had it in them for real. I think if we were just to adjust some of the season 2 changes that have remained in the game, like homing throws and stuff of that nature, we might actually be back, bro. I never thought I would actually see the day where I think Tekken 8 might actually end up being a decent game at some point. I never thought I would see this day. Nerfing heat is definitely the primary complaint about this game from most people, even with the busted plus some block moves, the busted tracking, all that shit. So it looks like this team is finally attacking the right things, instead of just being like, yeah,
look at our DLC sales. Our players think this game is dope as fuck. Let's just fix unintended behaviors and don't fix what ain't broke.
That was literally the old dev team. The old dev team were probably creating unintended behaviors for themselves to fix every patch. I can't lie. But overall, this has got to be one of the best patches we've ever received. But what do you guys think? Rate this patch out of 10 down in the comments below. And if you liked the video, remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. And until next time, guys.